Every day, our bodies produce acid. This acid comes from normal metabolism, like breaking down proteins in our diet, generating sulfuric and phosphoric acids, and from cellular processes that release carbon dioxide, which combines with water to form carbonic acid. If left unchecked, even small amounts of excess acid could be harmful. There are two main contributors to acid load. One, volatile acid, like carbon dioxide, which is produced during energy metabolism. Fortunately, the lungs excrete most of this by simply breathing. Other metabolic reactions produce several thousand millimoles of organic acids, like lactic acid and citric acid daily, which under normal circumstances are ultimately metabolized to glucose, water, and carbon dioxide. The other is non-volatile acid, like sulfuric and phosphoric acids from protein metabolism, which cannot be removed by the lungs. The acids generated in this process must be eliminated by the kidneys. Let's take a moment to talk acid load. Sulfuric acid, or H2SO4, is a strong acid that completely dissociates in water, resulting in free hydrogen ions. Phosphoric acid, H3PO4, is a weak acid, only partially dissociating in water. Both of which, however, contribute to the overall hydrogen load in the extracellular fluid. On average, a person will produce approximately 1 millimole per kilo per day of non-volatile acid. For a 60-kilo person, that is approximately 60 milliequivalents of hydrogen added to the extracellular fluid. To put that into context, if we added this much hydrogen to 15 liters of water, a solution with no physiologic buffers, which is the same volume of a 60-kilogram person's extracellular fluid volume, it would result in a pH of about 2.4, which is approximately 100,000 times higher than the concentration that is physiologic normal with a pH of 7.4. Now that is a big acid load. How does a body cope even? Well, the answer is physiologic extracellular fluid buffers. The body has quite a few of these. Some of them you might be familiar with: hemoglobin, albumin, amino acid side groups. Bone is a big-time buffer. But the most abundant is bicarbonate. As we've already discussed, the bicarbonate system can then convert non-volatile acid to a gaseous volatile form that can be eliminated rather than simply buffered. This is represented by the familiar equation, which is a rapid process of hydrogen plus bicarbonate, which then goes to carbonic acid, which then goes to carbon dioxide and water. And if you recall, this is a reversible equation. So what role does the kidney play in this process? Well, compared to the lungs, which rapidly expel carbon dioxide, the kidneys play more of a long game in acid-base management. So first, they need to excrete the volatile acids generated by dietary consumption, meaning sulfates and phosphates, both of which are small molecules and readily excreted. But how does the body maintain available bicarbonate for future buffering needs? We already know that metabolically, a molecule of bicarbonate is sacrificed for every hydrogen ion in order to perform buffering. So then on top of that, the kidney needs to reclaim all filtered bicarbonate and then make new bicarbonate to be available for future acid load. How the kidney accomplishes this in general is as follows. Number 1, reabsorbing filtered bicarbonate. Almost all bicarbonate that gets filtered into the urine is reclaimed, preventing loss of this crucial base. This occurs mainly in the proximal convoluted tubule, but the cortical collecting duct also plays a minor role. 2, excreting hydrogen ions. The kidneys actively secrete hydrogen into the urine. To safely excrete acid, hydrogen is buffered by titratable acids or bound to ammonia, allowing it to leave the body without making the urine dangerously acidic. This occurs in the cortical collecting duct, which we will discuss in more detail in future modules. And then finally, generating new bicarbonate. Also, this occurs in the cortical collecting duct, and this cannot happen without the secretion of that hydrogen ion, because for every hydrogen ion excreted, the kidneys add a new bicarbonate ion back into the blood. This replenishes a buffer system that neutralizes daily acid load. We'll discuss this in more detail in future modules. Together, the lungs and kidneys work as partners. The lungs provide rapid adjustments by exhaling carbon dioxide, while the kidneys provide the steady, long-term correction, reclaiming and generating new bicarbonate and excreting fixed acids. Without the kidneys' contribution, acid would accumulate, leading to dangerous conditions like metabolic acidosis. Now let's tie in some clinical correlations. While daily acid production comes mostly from protein metabolism, the body can also face extra acid challenges. An anion gap metabolic acidosis is when there is addition of excess hydrogen ions. As you can see, this hydrogen ion is accompanied by a negatively charged anion. The source of an anion gap metabolic acidosis has three main categories. One is increased production. Think lactic acidosis, which is most commonly occurs when tissues don't get enough oxygen, such as shock or strenuous exercise. Or ketoacidosis, which occurs when fat is broken down excessively for energy, as in uncontrolled diabetes or prolonged fasting. The next category is decreased clearance. Think of kidney failure, which causes uremia, which is another word for a buildup of waste and organic anions. And finally, the addition of exogenous acids. Think things like salicylates or aspirin, toxins such as methanol and ethylene glycol, all of which can overwhelm the body. Again, this is termed an anion gap metabolic acidosis. In these situations, the kidneys work harder, increasing hydrogen ion excretion, maximizing ammonia production, and generating even more bicarbonate to buffer the blood. This helps stabilize pH, though severe acidosis may still require urgent medical care. Now, contrast to anion gap metabolic acidosis. Acidosis doesn't always come from adding acid. Sometimes the body loses too much bicarbonate, its main base. This is called a non-anion gap metabolic acidosis, also known as a NAGMA, N-A-G-M-A. The main causes of this include 1. Gastrointestinal losses, such as severe diarrhea, which removes large amounts of bicarbonate-rich fluid from the blood. The other cause are kidney causes, like renal tubular acidosis, and occurs when the kidneys fail to reabsorb or generate bicarbonate properly. This type of acidosis is called, again, a non-anion gap metabolic acidosis. The kidney responds by increasing hydrogen ion secretion and boosting ammonium excretion. But if the kidney itself is the source of the problem, these compensations may not be enough. So, in the normal functioning kidney, what do you expect the urine pH to be in a person with a metabolic acidosis? If your answer was the pH should be low, or less than 5.5, you are correct. What the kidney is doing is it's trying to correct the acidosis by working to reabsorb and make new bicarbonate, providing additional buffer. In addition, the kidney must secrete hydrogen ions in order to generate a new bicarbonate, and that is what acidifies the urine.